Fall gardening is some of my favorite gardening to do. Don't get me wrong, I'm sad to see the summer crops and the nice weather as a whole come to an end. But the opportunity to grow a whole new set of vegetables that just don't do well in the summer is why I'm so excited about fall. I recently released a video on my top 10 fall veggies to grow, which is a great resource if you're looking for late season crop ideas. Check it out. But with so much excitement about growing late in the season, I often get the question, why do you garden in the fall? It's getting colder and colder out. Isn't it better to shut your garden down for the season and let it go dormant? Well, today I'm going to answer that question by giving you my top 3 reasons why you should be fall gardening this year. As well, I'm going to give you 5 quick tips to ensure that your fall planting, your fall growing, and your fall vegetable crops are as awesome as they can be. And it starts right now. Fall gardening is quite unique in that the sun is still quite powerful. With the soil temperature still being near perfect for germination, but without that extreme midday heat. This leads us right into the first reason why utilizing a fall garden is a must. Some plants either grow better in these conditions or they require these conditions. A lot of our brassicas, leafy greens, Asian greens, and mustards need the cooler weather to grow properly. Further to that, other crops like spinach, carrots, beets, and radishes simply taste better with the cooler temperatures. There's a whole world of amazing veggies to be grown in the fall, and the fact that some crops not only grow better, but also taste better in the autumn is reason enough to take advantage of this time. The second reason that we really should be planting a fall crop is that there's a fairly large window of time between shutting down our summer crops and the outright freezing and true dormancy of winter. There is often months in between the dying off and expiration of our summer veg and the first real frost dates. It would be a shame to let the garden go dormant for so long unnecessarily. The benefit of keeping that garden, those soils, not only productive but also bioactive and sustaining life is immeasurable. Unless you live in the Arctic, having your garden go dormant for 6 months of the year serves no benefit, nor real purpose. The final reason that I keep on planting and keep on working in my garden past the summer expiry dates is actually the prevention of weeds. By extending that growing period late in the season, where I'm cleaning, planting, growing, and mulching my garden areas, I'm also slowing down or actually preventing any weeds from getting established while the conditions are still favorable for them to do so. Sowing that extra carrot or spinach row along with the accompanying mulching and maintenance really steals that one last window that weeds have to get a foothold in your garden. Try it for yourself and see. Do a side-by-side comparison if you have the ability to do so. When spring rolls around the following year, the beds that we cultivated and grew right through the fall and into winter are far easier to work with, containing less weeds and a more receptive soil for planting our spring crops. And why not a bonus reason? It only makes sense. Fall gardening is a bonus in and of itself. With a fresh new perspective on growing and gardening, we can build off the momentum of the good parts of summer and plant out our fall crops that are often not competing for space, competing with much less weeds, and enjoying more available water and nutrients than usual with far less pests. So really, when you think about it in that context, fall gardening is an easy win-win endeavor. So now that we've hammered out the why, let's look at the how with 5 quick, easy tips that you can use to ensure that you maximize your fall crops. Tip number 1 is going to be knowing your frost dates. Knowing historically when your region is due to experience frost and knowing how long your crops are going to take along with their suggested planting times is paramount to growing in the fall successfully. Without that schedule and knowledge governing your planting decisions, the chances of your fall gardening being successful is extremely low. Tip number 2 to maximize your fall success is to add in compost and extra nutrients into your garden. Growing and harvesting summer crops can be intensive business. As well, the excessive watering that goes along with summer can leave a lot of the garden soils a little weak in the nutrient department. Add in some good compost or even organic soil amendments to revitalize your autumn garden and ensure that the necessary nutrients are there for those late season crops. Along that thought process is tip number 3, and that's to watch your watering. Fall is often the wettest time of the year, and nature will do much of the watering for you. With probably less transpiration and certainly less evaporation, be very mindful of how much water is entering and possibly going through your fall garden soils. In fact, one of my favorite aspects of fall gardening is that you actually rarely have to water. Again, that leads us right into the next fall gardening tip, and that's to mulch. Every season, every crop, you should be mulching, of course. And fall is no different. And the reason is twofold. Mulching allows us to really mitigate that excessive washing of the soil with the inevitable heavy rains that are the seasonal norm. As well, mulching can shed valuable nutrients back into the top layers of your soil and help keep the frost off those young seedlings if you happen to be planting a little bit later than recommended. I normally mulch with coarse straw, which is great to tuck in my fall crops, but if you're hoping for a nutrient boost, try switching to green grass clippings or other green yard trimmings to really add some zip back into the soil. And finally, tip number 5 is to utilize quick crops. So much of the focus of fall gardening is looking for frost-hardy varieties and bracing for the coming cold. Quick crops are the cheeky opposite. In and out is their motto, and they accomplish this by going from seed to harvest faster than traditional crops. Depending on where you live, look at getting in your quick crops the day you take out your summer ones. If you get these quick crops in early enough and you're able to harvest them fast enough, you might just possibly get in a true cold crop in the same spot anyways. That's a true bonus. The standard quick crops that I rely on every fall are spinach, arugula, peas, carrots, radishes, and beets. The world of fall gardening is as fascinating as it is misunderstood. Hopefully by sharing not only the reasons that I get so excited to garden in the fall, but also those 5 quick tips that we just discussed, it becomes a little less mysterious and a little less daunting than it was before. Hey, if you have any more tips on fall gardening that you'd like to share, be sure to throw it in the comments down below. Hey, thanks for watching, guys. If you're getting value in this and the other series that I'm doing on YouTube, hit those like, share, and subscribe buttons if you'd be so kind, and I'll see you in the next video.